All right, we're going to take you to downtown Houston, day 3 of the A.J. Armstrong murder trial, starting in just a couple of minutes. Our team, as you know, all week we've been inside of the courtroom. Cameras are not allowed there, but our team is, and they're going to walk you through every step of the way covering this trial. And joining me this morning is Lisa Andrews, former Harris County prosecutor. Good morning, Ms. Andrews. Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
So I'm going to read out some of the things that were revealed in court yesterday, and then we can get into it with some more questions. So a large part of the day yesterday was devoted to text messages between AJ and his parent and then girlfriend, now wife, Kate. A forensics technician with the DA's office recovered those texts. Most of them were just talking about lying, about going to see his girlfriend, about sneaking out of the house, smoking weed and drinking. Again, he was 16 at the time. Defense attorney Rick DeToto said there were 19,000 pages of text messages, and they only picked the ones that they thought made Armstrong look bad. So from your experience, what's the defense trying to accomplish with those texts? What's the reason for bringing those up right now?
Well, the defense is trying to mitigate any damage from those text messages, but Mr. DeToto's point is very well taken, and I think it's a common mistake that many prosecutors make, is in their presentation of the evidence, it doesn't look fair. And I think his point is well taken, because many of these text messages are, I think, common arguments that parents may have with their teenage kids who aren't doing the right things. Parents trying to correct behavior. Certainly, much of the behavior that his parents were upset about was pretty common. And so I think Rick made a great point in pointing out that they don't point out all the text messages where they're getting along fine, or he's respectful, or he's doing the things that he's supposed to do. And certainly with the volume of text messages, 19,000 plus, that's a pretty good point.
Yeah. And last time you were here, you talked to Zach about the new DNA evidence that was introduced. What's your biggest takeaway now that we know on Monday that they've recovered blood that was on an HPD badge or sticker or something like that? Can you explain more?
It's hard to know exactly what impact that evidence will have at this point, but certainly the fact that it has taken this long to discover that evidence, I think is going to give the defense a big opening to challenge whether or not that evidence really means anything at all. Certainly a lot of questions surrounding how that evidence got there, whether it was police contamination or whether it was legitimately put there on the night of the murder. I think it has given the defense much more of a persuasive argument to make in that particular case.
Yeah, and that is what they're going to argue.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any other ideas, predictions for this trial? We've seen it happen 2 times before. So will this be the final one?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. No matter what the verdict, if there's another hung jury, I think the DA's office would be very hard pressed to seek a 4th prosecution. That is unprecedented, really. Even 3 is pretty rare. So I think that if there's not a unanimous verdict, I think this is the last time this happens.
Interesting. And we're being told that it could take 2 to 3 weeks. Is that common?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Especially the more trials you have, the more transcripts you have, prior testimony. And there's a lot of different witnesses in this case, so that's not unusual. And
they're keeping the jury, they're keeping everybody there till past 6 o'clock at night every night. They're working pretty long hours.
Judge Johnson works long hours. She's a hardworking judge. She goes to trial a lot, so that doesn't surprise me. They're
kind of
anxious
typical for her.
It is typical for her, and they're anxious to get this done.
Yeah, I mean, we're all anxious for answers. We've been watching this trial, this case since 2016, so quite curious about what's going to happen next.
It'll be fascinating to watch.
Thank you so much for joining us. Day 3 of the trial begins today at 8:30. And right now on click2houston.com, you can find story archives helping you catch up on Armstrong's first and second trial, plus breaking down key legal concepts that will take place inside of the courtroom. You'll find it all right now on click2houston.com/thebench, or you can scan the barcode, the QR code that's on your screen right now.